Hello and welcome. In this video, we will discover how to invest your first $1,000. So, you have $1,000 and you don't know what to do with it. Of course, your first indication is to spend it on the next fancy item you can find, but should you? Isn't it way better if you can invest this $1,000 and turn it into $2,000 or even more? After all, then you'll be able to buy all the frivolous items you actually want without worry. That leaves one question though. Is $1,000 enough of an investment to make more? The answer is a definite yes. It's a challenging task, no doubt about it, but once you overcome the hurdles though, the reward is worth it. It's also a slightly risky move, but if you know what you're doing, those risks cease to exist. Before we get into it though, there are some things you should be prepared for. Thinking that investing won't do you any good will actually lead to no profit from your attempts. However, if you actually believe in what you're doing, if you actually think that you'd be able to perform miracles with $1,000, then that would become your truth. On that note, let's take a look at some ways you can invest your money. But just before, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to download your free book on financial freedom by clicking on the link in the description below. 1. The stock market game. Day trading isn't something someone with a fragile heart can do. It takes a massive amount of determination and dedication, and the mindset that you will pull through. You will also need to have a good knowledge of the market and what moves it. In all honesty, an amateur shouldn't even dream about attempting it. However, if you go in armed with knowledge, if you're actually prepared and ready for all perilous situations, you will be able to make a scary amount of money with the smallest investment. And all of it in the span of a few hours. There are methods you should follow when placing bets in the stock market. Whether you're dabbling in the general market or your focus is on trading penny stocks, you have to start by deciding on a stop-loss limit. This way, your stocks won't go through any major depreciation. If you're an advanced trader, you're already aware of how the makers of the market have a tendency to move stocks in a way that either makes us lose everything due to our greed or scares us so much that we stop short of what we could have gotten from the trade. Often, stocks are raised or downgraded to a specific price, utilizing your fear, so you end up playing right into their hands. As far as penny stocks are concerned, this situation becomes more severe. So while this is a viable way of investing $1,000, you have to truly understand the market forces at play and analyze them thoroughly if you want your gains to be of significance. Moving average is something you should pay extra attention to. 2. Invest in yourself. One of the best investments you can make is to invest in your own self. Yes, you won't have a number to quantify the return for your investment, but there is no better way to spend your money than this. Invest in things that will make you grow as a person. Learn new things, maybe even take up some classes that teach you how to invest your money properly in the first place. Learn more about the world and enjoy your natural growth from it. Find out what actually makes your heart beat. Discover the path that will make earning money an easy feat because you are so passionate about it. On the internet, you'll be able to find plenty of courses that will teach you how to make money. The only problem here is that it's hard to determine what's the right one for you. Your options are endless, from YouTube videos to ebooks. There are so many methods you can use to learn more about earning money. While you will find a plethora of courses on the subject, not all of them are useful. Do research beforehand to determine the one that will be useful for you. 3. The lending option. Recently, peer-to-peer lending has become quite a popular method among investors. Now, you might not triple your investment through this method, but you will be able to earn a considerable sum. There is no dearth of lending platforms available. What is peer-to-peer lending, though? Well, these are business platforms where you can offer a short amount of capital to others' businesses. You can also lend money to random individuals. Then, these businesses or individuals will pay you back the money along with interest. Compared to the savings account, the interest rate is far better in this case. As it is done on apps or sites, you also don't need to calculate the rate on your own, as the algorithm will do your job for you. Once you have a proposition from someone who wants to borrow money from you, you should first determine if they are legit or not and whether they will pay you back the money. Once you've confirmed their honesty, it's up to you whether the deal is worth taking. Furthermore, the computer will also evaluate the risk for you as they check on the borrower's credit card records and employment history. You'll have all the data presented to you, and then you can decide whether to go with it or not. 4. Look into trading. There's a rule of trading that you should follow, especially when the sum you have isn't a massive amount. The principle is that you should do small trades and do them quite often. What kind of trading options should you jump into? Well, we already mentioned stocks, but the Forex also exists. Your best chance is to enter yourself in the game about 15 days before the release of corporate earnings. What kind of trade should you buy? Definitely money calls. Then, just before the company is going to release its earnings report, just the day before, you should sell the money calls. At that time, people are high on anticipation. Everyone's too excited, and it becomes a method to make sure your money calls can be sold at a higher price than you bought them. There is no doubt that you will be able to make some money in this case. What you shouldn't do is wait for the earnings report in the hope that you actually luck out and get an even greater number for your money calls. Unless you're seasoned and truly understand how trading works and what kind of reports certain companies are going to release, that's a risk you should never take. 5. Savings account. If there is nothing left in this world, you will still always have your savings account to invest some money in. Maybe you don't need a huge amount of interest, or the idea of any other form of investment is too risky for you due to your current financial situation. Maybe you want to be able to access your money anytime you need, and other forms of investments won't let you do that. Well then, a savings account truly will be your best bet. It's still better than wasting the money on random things. It's slightly better if you use online banks for your savings account. These banks are willing to give an interest rate that's higher than the minimum offer you get from a local bank. The interest rate still won't be too big, but at least you can be assured that they are FDIC insured. This way, you won't at least be reducing your $1,000, and you have the option of withdrawing anytime you decide to. 6. Pay your debts. Do you have some debts you should really clear by now? Investing your money in anything else will be pointless if you still have debts knocking down your door. Any investment you make turns into negative because the amount you earn would probably end up going into taking care of your debts. This takes away all the fun you could get from investing in the first place. If you have some high debt you need to pay back or a credit card that needs your attention, this is where the $1,000 should be going. Yes, it won't be any fun and you won't be able to see your investment turn into something bigger, but you will be relieving yourself of a lot of weight on your shoulders. This way, there will come a time where you don't have to worry about your debts at all. Instead, you can invest the money as you had originally wished. You would also feel way better about making risk-involving investments because you won't have a debt looming over your head, and you won't have to worry about what you would do to repay it. 7. Real estate. When you think of real estate, you probably envision something that involves a long waiting period. It doesn't have to be that way though, because in this case, you won't be investing in real estate itself, but in the contracts. There are methods that allow you to take something little, like $1,000, and use it on real estate contracts, or that is, flipping it. The money you make from it would be quite instantaneous. How would you do it? Well, you should probably first look into the market properly. You will find tutorials that explain contract flipping in detail. There are sites that will present you with information and the tools needed to identify vacant homes, people who want to buy them on cash, and the sellers who can't wait to get rid of them. Usually, people have this idea that one can make money on real estate by flipping the homes available and renovating it by themselves. Well, of course, this method allows you to make way more. It is a long-term investment method. The shortest method for gaining some cash from real estate involves flipping none other than the actual contract. It's pretty simple in some ways. You have to first find the seller, and then find a buyer who is willing to get the home, and all you need to do is make sure they meet up. Once the deal's been sealed, you get a commission from the entire thing. At first, this might seem to be a weird method. However, once you get the hang of it, you can practically become an envied figure in the real estate world. All you need to do is form a strategy that allows you to quickly identify the buyer and the seller. Final thoughts. It's never easy to decide how you're going to use your $1,000. Investment methods always have a risk associated with them, and it's easy to simply take a step back and not do anything about it. Maybe you're just happy letting the amount sit in your savings account. You could also find the whole thing too complicated, and the temptation to spend the amount on things that strike your fancy might be too great. You simply have to pull through in these situations. Randomly spending your money on things that won't be of use to you is never a good idea. And even if you lost the money you invested, which you wouldn't if you do ample research, it's still better than buying something only to never use it again or regretting buying the item after you've brought it home. After all, with investments, you at least tried to do something worthwhile even if it didn't pan out the way you wanted it to. You will be sad about the lost amount, but at least you would know you tried your best instead of letting the money waste away. Well, let's hope your ventures into investments are more than successful. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to the channel. You're also free to receive the new book, 5 Steps to Reach Financial Freedom, by clicking on the link in the description below the video.